We're here to do the FlossTube tag, right? Right. Hello there, everybody. How's it going? It's Jessie from Jessie Marie Does Stuff, and this is like my 18th take to try to just start. I know that so many of us have said that the hardest part about recording these videos is just getting going, and then you almost can't shut us up, but getting started for whatever reason is a struggle. Today, apparently, I don't even know my own channel name. But it's Jessie Marie Does Stuff. And today is Wednesday, December the 28th, 2016. You can tell how far I got with my previous 17 takes because I didn't even know what the date was. Yeah. So what are we here to do? This video here is going to be the first of 3 that you're going to be seeing from me here in the next 48 hours or so. And we're going to start things off with the year in review tag. This was a tag created by all of us combined. Collectively, I think we had 45 people submit questions either through my YouTube or through the post on Stitchmania. And so we're going to do this tag. I'm sorry that it's coming so late. I know that I had talked about putting it out last week. But that just didn't happen with the holidays and everything. As expected, things got a little bit crazy. And then these last couple days, it's been super gray out. Yesterday was a beautiful day. It was in the mid-60s. And, but I just didn't have opportunity to record yesterday. Before I get into the tag, I just want to say to everybody, I hope that you had a very wonderful Christmas, and I hope that your holiday season is going off without a hitch. We had a really great weekend. It was busy, as it is when you have 2 families and people across the state. We celebrated Christmas Eve with my family, and then we were with Danny's family on Christmas Day. So it was busy weekend, but it was good. It was good. Got to spend a little bit of time with everybody. My stepdad was in town from the Dakotas, and my sister was there, and it was good. We had a really good time. Ate way too much food. Too much food. Like way too much food. So yeah. So let's just go ahead and get into the tag because there are 50 questions. Now, I did everything that I could with all of the questions that were submitted to sort of bring them down and make this as quick as possible, but still covering everything that I think that we need to cover. So, some of these, I broke them down also into categories, and so some of these categories may go a little bit faster than others, and you'll sort of see that as we go. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I've got my bottle of water here because this is going to be a talking video. If there are any projects that I feel the need to show, then there will be pictures in the corners or on the sides or something, but I have no actual physical projects with me for this video. So let's get it going. Okay, I lied. One more thing. Before I get started, these questions will be in the description box below so that anybody else who wants to do this tag before the end of the year or after the end of the year, jump right in. And after I'm done, I'm going to have some scrolling credits with first names or channel names of people who submitted questions. Just to give credit where credit is due, because this was the FlossTube tag. This was not created by me. It was just, I just threw it together. Okay. So, category number 1, favorites and least favorites. So, number 1, what was your favorite work in progress of the year or whip of the year? What was your least favorite? My favorite whip of the year was The Reader by Joan Elliott. My least favorite whip was My Heron by Leslie Tier. And you guys know my reasoning for the heron. I just don't like that fabric. What was your favorite finish? What was your least favorite finish of the year? My favorite finish of the year was probably my 9 Ladies Dancing by Nora Corbett. I have had a Mirabilia or Nora Corbett finish every single year since I started stitching, and it took extraordinary effort to get that 9 Ladies Dancing done, so really glad to have done that. And then my least favorite finish of the year was probably my Easter egg by Chatelaine, only because it was just a project just to do just for the sake of a project, and so it doesn't have any sentimental value to me. It's pretty, and it's a finish. I'm still counting it in my statistics for finishes for the year, but it's not a big deal. Okay, number 3, favorite FFO, fully finished object, or least favorite FFO, and least favorite. My favorite FFO was my coffee ornament that I did. I'm going to talk about this in a little bit, but I only had a few fully finished objects this year, and my favorite was the coffee one. I ended up finishing that for my brother, and I don't know, it just turned out the best. My least favorite was the Blue Ridge Santa by Mill Hill as well, and I don't know, I was in a hurry to get the felt cut, and so it's not as pretty as I would have liked it. For the coffee ornament, the hanging loop part of it was a part of the design itself. The Blue Ridge Santa, I used a piece of ribbon, and I would have done things very differently with that if I had known better. Okay. What was your favorite new start of the year? What was your least favorite new start of the year? My favorite new start of the year was probably my Autumn Fairy by Chatelaine. That was the very first Chatelaine I have ever seen, and so it was good to finally start that, and that was actually the project that I started for the first of the year. That was my New Year, New Start for 2016. I had lots of new starts, and so picking one favorite was difficult, but that was definitely one of them. My least favorite new start for the year was probably my BB-8. I don't know how I feel about that project. I haven't worked on it since Mania, and so things may be changing with that. But the way that it was charted, it's charted in mostly Credix or DMC Metallics. So I'm a little on the fence about it. And because I'm on the fence about it, it has to be my least favorite. So there's that. What was your favorite tool for 2016? I'd have to say the Nymo beading thread. That was kind of revolutionary for me. I mean, I talked about it on my channel, but that changed beading for me. It made beading a lot easier. I'm not one who enjoys beading with matching DMC thread, either matching to the bead or to the fabric. I like beading with invisible thread, but YLI invisible thread is a pain in the butt. So, least favorite tool. I bought these tapestry needles from eBay in bulk because I'm having an issue where I am rusting through needles really fast, and so I thought if I could buy some bulk needles, then I'm not running out so often. I got some John James tapestry 28s from eBay, and I don't like them. I think that the eye has some burrs in them because the thread is shredding from the inside. It's not terribly drastic, but I can it's rough in there. It feels like there's a texture of sandpaper on the inside of the eye of the needle. So I'm hesitant about using those needles when I'm working with silk or threads that I have limited quantities of. So that's kind of my least favorite tool. Let's see. What was your favorite technique for 2016? I love my signature. I thought it was clever, and I think it's pretty, and it is disguisable. I also started stitching in my full coverage pieces in rows rather than in columns, and I really like that. It's speedy. And the pin stitch I got to utilize quite a bit this year, and that was also pretty revolutionary. We don't always have the loop method available to us, and so being able to use the pin stitch really was really great. My least favorite technique for 2016 was doing that beard on the Blue Ridge Santa. That was not fun. The beard and mustache is completed using 6 strands of floss, and let's just say that in future I'll be doing that differently because that was not fun. So, yeah, there's that. What was your favorite material that you stitched on in 2016? The only thing that I can really think of that stands out is just hand-dyed linens. I've become just a big fan of the hand dyers that I've worked with. Petite Treasure Braid. Picture This Plus, hand dyed by Stephanie, Under the Sea Fabrics. I've gotten to utilize a lot of hand dyed fabrics this year, and so I really, really like those. I'm finding my niche, my happy place as far as fabrics are concerned, and so that's kind of how I feel. Least favorite material or fabric? Still that 28 count MCG Textiles even weave. As soon as I finish that heron, I will be jumping for joy because I won't be having to work on that anymore. So, very excited about that. Okay, favorites and least favorites for pattern releases of 2016. So, I am not going to answer least favorites because if it was my least favorite pattern release, then I wouldn't take note of it. So, my favorite pattern releases of 2016, and these are just kind of the ones that popped into my head at first glance. The Scottish Mandala from Chatelaine. I think that thing is gorgeous, and that is going to have to happen. The Maiden and the Dragon by Joan Elliott Designs. I think that's what the design is called, but that's another one that I'm going to have to start. Portrait of Veronica by Mirabilia. I looked at the Mirabilia releases for 2016, and that one stands out to me as my absolute favorite. As far as those Mirabilia designs under the heading of Nora Corbett designs, I think Snapdragon is my favorite there, followed closely by, was it the Berry Collector this year? No, that was last year. Oh, Queen Anne's Lace. My drag queen, Queen Anne's Lace. That was a release from this year, and I really, really like that design. And then there's also the Dragon Saw by Blimey Cat Stitches, which just got started here within the last month or so. That is another of my favorites. I can already tell that that's going to be one of my favorite projects as of next year. So, yay. Okay, so that finishes up the favorites and least favorites. Now let's move on to the how many. So question number 9. How many whips did you have at the start of the year? I had 23. How many whips do you have at the end of this year? I have 70. 70. How many projects did you start during 2016? I went back and calculated this. This is fun, you guys. I started 68 projects this year. 68. So I went from 23 to 70, but there were 68 projects started. That statistic just blows my mind. I started almost as many projects as I currently have. How was that achieved? Well, I finished, question number 12, I finished 20 projects in 2016. I am counting a project that I haven't quite yet finished, but by this time tomorrow it will be finished. So it counts for 2016 finishes as far as I'm concerned. 20 finishes for 2016. I told you guys I was trying to push for a 20th finish, and I did it. So technically, I did it. I haven't officially, but technically. How many fully finished objects from 2016? 3. Yeah, my that's gonna come up here in a little bit, but I need to work on the fully finished objects. I have a very bad habit of finishing and then slipping it into an envelope. I have a drawer in my office of my finished objects, and they just go in there. So I need to do a better job of fully finishing. how many projects did you put in the at least temporary UFO pile? So these are temporary give-ups, as Jimmy FlossTube would say. There are 2 projects that I would categorize under temporary UFOs, and those are my Pumpkin Passport by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery and the 20-year celebration by Passione Ricomo. Those are 2 projects that I don't know that I will finish, but I'm not ruling them out completely. There were 3 projects this year, however, that I put in the permanent UFO pile, and those are projects that I am not continuing with. And those 3 are the Sparkling Autumn Leaves by Brooks Books that I had started during Mania. Wasn't interested in those. The monogram letter S that I also started during Mania. I won't be continuing with that. And the Gryffindor crest that I had started. I have to find an alternate Gryffindor crest because I did not like that at all. And then the last question for the how many full coverage pages did you complete in 2016? 4. That is not a statistic that I want to carry forward in 2017. I want to do much better with my full coverage pieces. So I think 4 is great. Don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining about it, but I would like to do better. So there's that. Okay, our next category is the first and last. So what was your first start of 2016? My first start of 2016, like I said, was the Autumn Fairy by Chatelaine. And then what was your last start of 2016? As of today, and I do believe that it is my last start of 2016, was the July Quilt by Paula Vaughn. And I will talk more about that in my update video, but that was my last start of 2016. What was your first finish of 2016? My first finish was Always, and I did, that was by La La Creations on Etsy, and I finished that at the very beginning of the year. And my last finish of 2016 is, I guess I'll spoil it now, The Christmas Star by Liz Almond. I am completing a total of 4 copies, shall we say, of that design, and that will be my last finish of 2016. Again, it's technical at this point, but it will be official later today or tomorrow, depending. Okay, next is a category I debated whether I was going to include or not, but I did. So we have 4 questions here relating to regrets. So things that you maybe look back on 2016 and you go, man, I wish I hadn't done that. So let's talk about any regrets with regards to purchases. Did you buy anything in 2016 that you wish that you hadn't, or you wish that you had given more thought before you purchased it? And the only thing that I can think of are the hand-dyed threads for the Nora Corbett mystery, because I have every intention of doing the Nora Corbett mystery, the Romeo and Juliet first ever Mirabilia mystery design, but I don't think that I'm going to do it in the hand-dyed threads. And so I wish that I hadn't forked up the money for that. That was quite an investment, and I don't intend on using them. As much as I love hand-dyed threads, I don't know, it's just not worth it to me necessarily. So anyway, that's the only thing that I could think of as far as regrets for purchase for the year. So that's pretty good. Not too bad. Is there any project that you started in 2016 that you maybe wish you hadn't? And that for me is the Pumpkin Passport by Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. I started that piece for a multitude of reasons, and none of them were, I really love this project. I really loved Postcards from the World. I did not love Pumpkin Passport. The center text reminds me of Dora, and it's just not my aesthetic. The kawaii style is not my thing. So, but I was heavily influenced by those who participated in the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery mystery cells from previous years, for like these mini blocks, and they got them finished, and that just appealed to me. And so I kind of started it just for the sake of I want to participate too. Okay, so are there any projects that you regret stopping in 2016? So are there any projects that you put in UFO that maybe you shouldn't have? And for me, I don't have any of those. I don't regret putting a project in the UFO bin. I don't regret giving up on a project that doesn't appeal to me anymore, or that I'm unsatisfied with the way that it's stitching up. Those that are in the temporary, if I felt regret for that, then I would just pull them back into whip rotation. Like, that's not a problem. But those that I put in permanent UFO, I gave them serious thought. Do I enjoy this? Is this worth my time? Am I setting aside the other 70 projects that I have currently for this one that I'm not loving? So I can't say that I have any regrets as far as stopping is concerned. I wouldn't do anything differently with those. The last one for regrets, do you have any regrets with regards to not participating in something? So did you pass up on a stitch along that you wish that you had done? Is there an event, like a Facebook event or an Instagram event, that you wish that you had participated in? For me, the only thing that I could come up with was my Nantucket Rose by Lavender and Lace. And I started that as a no pressure whatsoever stitch along with purl-in stitches. And I didn't put a whole lot of time into that. And so I started it with her, like we both started a Lavender and Lace, but I haven't given it the effort of a stitch along. And so I kind of, I don't want to say that I regret it, but I just wish that I had put more time into that. So that's the only thing that I can think of with regards to that question. Okay, next, let's go on to the new, or the new to you, because these may not be things that are new to everybody. It might be not a new technology or anything like that. So, question number 23, we're almost halfway there. What is a new or new to you tool that you implemented use in 2016? And for me, that is the X-Stitch app. I started using that thing heavily in 2016. So that's got to be my tool. Okay, question number 24. What is a new or new to you technique or perhaps specialty stitch that you used in 2016? And for me, that was mill hill kits. I had never done a mill hill kit before. And that is a technique. It's a method of stitching that I was totally new to. So let's see, new or new to you designer that you stitched from. And this is not necessarily like this is the first time you've ever seen a design by this person or design company. It's just that you now have experience with. And for me, that's got to be the Cricut collection. That also has to be Dona Stitch, Mill Hill, Marie Barber, Glendon Place. The list goes on. I worked on projects from an array of different designers this year, but those are the ones that sort of stand out to me when I first think about it. I'm thinking my Graceful Reindeer by Marie Barber, Elizabeth by Glendon Place, my Dona Stitch. I'm really looking forward to getting back to that. You guys know I love my Cricut collection designs, and the Mill Hill kits have been really great for me. So. What was a new or new to you fabric? I had never stitched on Jobelin before, and I did that for the first time this year. I'm on the fence about it. I don't know. I'm not much of an even weave stitcher, and Jobelin is an even weave, so that could be part of it, but yeah, that was new to me. Also, perforated paper. I had never done that. As I said, this was my first year with Mill Hill Kids, so that was my first perforated paper experience. What was a new to you thread? Nymo, beading thread. That's the only thing I could think of. I had worked with all of the silks and the Mill Hills. Mill Hills? I don't know what I'm saying. The Moe's sale that I had DMCs, different metallics. The only thing I can think of is the Nymo beading thread. What is a new or new to you vendor or shop? So did you purchase anything from somebody that you hadn't in previous years? And I can't think of anybody. Maybe some of the Etsy designers, but I had used Etsy before. Stash Unload. I sold on Stash Unload. I haven't bought anything on Stash Unload, but I sold a few things on Stash Unload, so that was kind of a new to me experience. So we'll go with that. New or new to you terminology. So cross stitch verbiage that was like, I don't even know what that is. And the only one that I could come up with was sable. I knew sort of what sable, what it meant, but I didn't know what the acronym actually stood for. So sable is SABLE, stash above, stash accumulated beyond life expectancy. And that is me to a T. I have more stash than I will ever be able to use all of. Okay, and then FlossTube channels. Again, these are not necessarily new or new to, they're not necessarily new FlossTubers. They could be just channels that you finally tuned into. So for me, that would be a list of people, but these are just a few, again, that just popped into my head. Danielle from Stitcherista, Stephanie from Stephanie's Tiny X's, Stephanie from Miss Oh So Crafty, Davina from Mumula. We have Brian from Blitz Stitch, Sadie Ruin from Yarnivore, who I had seen before from her knitting podcast, but she's new to FlossTube, so that's super cool. Nikki Crafts, and the return of Stitcher Moose. So that, I mean, this year in FlossTube has been extraordinary as from my standpoint. We have exploded, and I absolutely love how big our community has gotten. I can't keep up, but I love how many other people are stepping out of their shells and jumping in front of the camera and just talking about cross stitch. I love that. So, very cool. Yay, FlossTube. Okay. 3 more categories. The next one is just kind of like a collection of questions. So, question 31, what did you learn this year? What did I learn this year? I learned that I really like making videos. I learned that the editing process takes me a really long time, and I like to take a nap while I'm editing, as it turns out. As far as stitching is concerned, I guess I've grown up more appreciative of the projects that mean something to me. I started a lot of things just for the sake of a start this year, and that will be dialed back in years to come. And so this year kind of taught me that. I mean, this year I learned that there are some things that I need to think about starting before I actually start them, just for the sake of it. Let's see, what else did I learn? What did I learn, you guys? I've learned a lot of things, but nothing that I can put words to. Of course, I'm going to finish recording here and I'm going to be like, I should have said this, or I should have said that. I I learned that FlossTube itchy nose is a real thing. I learned that organization is the key to a serial starter's success. Gotta have a way to organize things if you're going to start a million things. I learned that I am kind of set in my ways, in that I have my favorite fabrics and I don't really like to deviate from that. I learned that I'm a serial starter. I learned that I have FOMO more often than not. What else did I learn? I'm gonna stop there because I can't think of anything else. Again, there's lots. I just don't have words for it. Okay. What did you teach someone this year? And the only thing that I'm going to say to that is the FlossTube spouse tag. That was a trip. We can't know what we teach somebody unless they tell us that we taught them that. So if I taught you something, let me know. But yeah, I guess I taught my husband a few things. There's that. Question 33. Did you become real-life friends with any stitchers you only knew via social media previously? Not yet. Soon, but not yet. I haven't met anybody in real life yet. I would consider you all my stitching friends, whether you be on the East Coast of the United States or literally across the world. So I can't say that we're real life friends yet, but we are friends. Are you happy with what you accomplished this year? That's question 34. I don't know. Yes and no. I started 68 projects this year. That feels like something to be proud of a little bit. I didn't finish what I set out to this year, but I finished 20 things this year. No, I didn't FFO very much, but I FFO'd 3. So, are you happy with what you accomplished? Yes, I will say yes. I am happy with what I accomplished this year. If I didn't finish a project that I wanted to, I made great strides towards a finish. And I stitched a heck of a lot in 2016. In 2017, I'm going to see if I can do something like keeping track of the number of stitches I do every day. I don't know how that's going to go. But I think it would be fun at the end of the year to be like, I did 5 million stitches in 2016. Or 2017. I think that would be fun. So we'll see. Long and short of it is, yes, I'm happy with what I accomplished this year. Page 2. Question 35. What were your goals for 2016 and how do they measure up to what you accomplished? So I think I had 2 specific stitching goals in 2016, and that was to finish the 8 projects that I had set up to do, that I had set up to finish, and to limit my new starts. I did not limit my new starts in 2016. That is for darn sure. And as far as the 8 projects, I finished 2 of those. So I did some of that goal, but not all of it. I won't let that dishearten me or anything. Yeah, I'm gonna keep stitching. It's not like I had this year to get those things done and that's it. That's all I get. You know, I'm gonna work on them and they will get finished when they get finished. Has your stitching style or organization changed during the year, and if so, how? If no, are there any changes or improvements that you would like to make in the coming years? Has my stitching style or organization changed during the year? Yes, my organization has changed. I rely very heavily on the X-Stitch app. My rotation has changed approximately 8 times this year. I went from a daily rotation to a weekly rotation to, I went 1 month where I only stitched on one project. I did an entire month of mood stitching where I only stitched on what I just felt like. That was way too much for me. As it turns out, I'm really indecisive. Let's see. What else? Changes or improvements I would like to make. I am starting a bullet journal, like a real serious bullet journal. And I'm going to make an effort to using that more carefully. And in doing so, I hope to help organize myself a little bit better. I am a big numbers girl. I really like statistics. And so I'm hoping that implementing those changes will help change my statistics. And so I intend on implementing some more numbers. Just out of curiosity's sake, if nothing else. Okay, question 37. Did you fall victim to FOMO, fear of missing out? Were there any projects that you would pass on starting if you were given the chance to go back in time and do it all over? So we kind of touched on this in the regrets, but I fell victim to FOMO quite a bit this year. I participated in just about everything that I possibly could. The Frosted Pumpkin Sal, I started despite the fact that I knew that it wasn't going to be necessarily my aesthetic. What else did I do this year? Stitch Mania, the supersized version, where I started, I think I did 36 projects in 31 days. That was insane. Trying to think. I mean, there's a bunch of projects that I started just for the sake of a start. And so if I was to go back in time and do it all over, I might reconsider that. So, there's that. 38. Did you participate in any SALs? If so, which one was your favorite? I sure did. I participated in, as far as mystery stitch-alongs are concerned, Frosted Pumpkin Passport, Clouds Factory Postcards from the World. I started the Fantasy Sal by Lakeside Needlecraft and Doreen Jones. And then as far as like Stitch Mania, Stitch-alongs, or Cross Stitch It's Fun Sals, or even Cross Stitch and Discuss Sals, Cross Stitch Finish Line, the Ultimate Cross Stitch Group, I participated in a ton of Stitch-alongs. My favorite has to be, project-wise, Postcards from the World. That it just appealed to me. Events, kind of Sal's. Oh, we're going to talk about that. Okay. Let's see. Question 39. What was your favorite event that you participated in this year? And so for me, it's kind of a toss-up. I really liked Mania. I liked recording for Mania. I liked the daily new project. Okay, what are we doing now? What are we changing up now? But I really liked the Stitch Mania Summer Olympics Challenge. That was another event that I just loved that. As I had mentioned before, it was like a scavenger hunt, and so I will definitely be participating in any events like that in the future. So yeah, I also really liked I think that's it. Okay, question 39? No, 40. What did you learn about yourself through your stitching this year? Hi, my name is Jessie. I'm indecisive. I can't make decisions about what I'm going to stitch next. I like big projects, and I cannot lie. I am a stickler for skin 1/1. I can substitute. I can make changes to things, as it turns out, which I didn't know I could do before. And by that I just mean that, like, I didn't know that I could personally do it. Not that I knew that I was allowed or whatever. Like, that wasn't the issue. It was that I could make changes. I made some changes to Postcards from the World. I made some changes to 9 Ladies Dancing. Those were minor changes. I am stitching Recipe for a Magical Night by Alessandra Adelaide Needleworks in a grab bag of hand-dyed threads. So I can do those things. What else did I learn about myself through stitching? I've said it before, but I'm kind of set in my ways. I like my fabric. The way that I like it. I like the hand-dyed linens. I like linens. 28s or 32s are my favorites. Yeah. Okay. Are there any fads in stitching that you didn't necessarily jump on the bandwagon for immediately, but you're considering it? So these could be stitch-alongs, they could be events, they could be tools, they could be vendors, they could be patterns. And so here's a few things. Death by cross stitch. I'm considering it, but I'm not. I haven't bought it yet. Big Red Ship of Life. That one grows on me more and more the more I see it. Giant Harry Potter from Cloud's Factory. I'm a Harry Potter dork, but I haven't bit the bullet on that one yet. And A Forest Grill by Rosewood Manor. This one is kind of more recent, and I haven't taken the plunge on that yet either. Kind of want to, but I haven't yet. The IKEA cart, as made famous by Stitcherista. As of right now, I don't want to say that I need one, but I want one. But I haven't jumped on the bandwagon about that yet. And the Snag Nabbit. That's another tool that seems to be making its like sort of resurgence, and it's being mentioned a whole lot more. And I haven't bought one of those yet. I might, but I haven't yet. Okay, next let's talk about 2017. We're in the home stretch here, guys. We have less than 10 questions to go. Okay, question 42. What project are you most looking forward to starting in 2017? I am most looking forward to starting my Stargazer by Mirabilia. And I am doing a conversion on Stargazer to where she will be sort of a commemorative piece, because 2017 will be the 10-year anniversary of the tragedy at Virginia Tech. And so she will be a commemorative piece for me. And so I will be doing a major overhaul color conversion for her, which is frightening and very exciting. I have a ton of new projects that I'm looking forward to starting in 2017. I'm really looking forward to starting my Avarice by Heaven and Earth Designs, because that was purchased for me by the Hubs. So, but Stargazer is the tops. 43, what project are you most looking forward to finishing? That has got to be a tie between my Chatelaine Frosty Knot Garden and my Mirabilia Persephone. Those two projects I am so excited to get to the finishing on. First of all, because there are approximately 10,000 beads between the two, and you guys know I love beading. But I am also just so looking forward to having those projects and just, I don't know, basking in their finished status. I'm so looking forward to that. They've been long-term projects. I have a lot of those. I have a lot of long-term projects, but those two, those are tops. In 2017, do you intend to be more determined or laid back in your stitching? I intend to be more determined. Without going too far into it, I intend on my family size changing. And in order for that to happen, I need to make a concentrated effort of bringing down my number of whips, because I imagine that when such things occur, the amount of stitching time will shrink. And so I think that it'll be good for me to be more determined. I can be more laid back later on in life. Question 45, what event are you most looking forward to participating in? I have 4 here. Year of Whips. I'm looking forward to checking that off. Stitch from Stash. I'm really excited about getting that started, and because of the reasons I mentioned. Changing family size means more conscientious about spendy. Stitch Mania 2017, I'm really looking forward to that because I'll be able to make some new starts, but kind of guilt-free. And details forthcoming, but my birthday challenge. I will be talking about that more as we get closer to it, but in due time. Let's see. What are your stitching resolutions for 2017? I only want to start something if I really love it. I don't want to start something just for the sake of having a new start. I don't think that that's going to be a problem. I don't think that that's going to be a resolution that will be hard to uphold, but that's going to be important for me. And sort of related to that is that I want to finish the big stuff. I want to finish some of my big projects. I want to make some strides on my ginormous Heaven and Earth designs that are still going to take me another 10 years to finish. But I want to work on them. And so that's going to be a resolution focus, for 2017. Will you be participating in any mystery cells in 2017? Yep. Along with the ones that I'm currently working on, I'll also be doing the Dragon's Owl by Ingleside Imaginarium and the Fabulous Women in History from Clouds Factory. I'll be doing that one as well. There will inevitably be new stitch-alongs that come out that I might be interested in, but as it stands currently, those are the 2 that I know that I'm going to be participating in. And then in 2017, are there any materials or specialty stitches or techniques that you would like to try? Something that you would like to break out of your comfort zone and just do it. The only thing that I could think of would be other hand dyers of threads and fabrics. And maybe even new designers. I'm really looking forward to seeing what 2017 brings as far as designers are concerned. And patterns. That's just some of the most fun. It's that our fields of interest are constantly changing. And I can't wait to see what comes out next. But as far as materials specifically that I would like to try, I'd like to try some fabrics by LJ, and any other hand dyers. His was the only one that I could think of. I'm sure that there are plenty others that I'm not thinking of off the top of my head. Something else that I would like to do in the new year, I would like to meet people. I would like to meet other stitchers. I'd like to meet FlossTubers. That is, of course, going to start with the DC area Stitchers meetup, and I am really looking forward to that. I'd really like to attend a stitching retreat. Let's see. I would also like to visit an LNS. I've been to an LNS, but that LNS has since closed. I'd like to go to an LNS. I would like to frame something myself. That's a technique that I would like to try in 2017. I would like to just FFO some things. That's something that I really want to do in 2017, and that's one of my resolutions as well, is to get better at FFOing. So yeah, I think that is it for materials or techniques that I'd like to try. There are 2 more questions, and they are non-stitching related. The first is, what was the best thing that happened to you this year? This year was, I think I'm not the only one who thinks that 2016 was kind of a tough year. It was kind of a tough year, both on a global perspective as well as on a personal perspective. But I got married this year. 2016 is a year that I will forever look back on, because I got married this year, and that's kind of a big deal. It's not kind of a big deal, it's a big deal. I have so many more thoughts about that, but I'm just going to keep that kind of to myself. But that was probably most definitely the best thing that happened to me this year. What are your personal resolutions for next year? I've never been like a specific resolutions thing, like I'm going to lose weight in 2017, or I'm going to exercise more, or I'm going to run a marathon, or they're always fitness goals, or I'm going to travel more. It's never been my thing. Like, I've never been somebody who starts the year off with, this is what I want to do this year. I think that personal development and personal growth is a continual thing, and it's not just a New Year's thing. So, but one thing that I do want to start, and I touched on it, I'm going to start a bullet journal, and that journal will hopefully help with, sorry, Thor is taking a nap on the floor right here, and he's just waking up, and he's kind of adorable when he wakes up. Yeah, you are. You're pretty cute. Yeah. So the only resolution, back to subject, the only resolution I can think of is that bullet journaling, I want to implement that and start doing that to improve my mental health, but also to get my life organized. I don't intend for it to become my next big hobby, but it is something that I am interested in getting involved in. So it's a resolution, I guess, for next year. And just continue to live my life as best I can. So that's that. That's the tag. We did it. You can come say hi? Yeah? Hi. Look at you. Look at your timing. Your timing's pretty great. Thank you once again, everybody, so much for submitting your questions and for hanging with me this year on my continued FlossTube journey. It's been a year, huh? Without sort of going too long. I just thank you. Thank you for all of your likes. Thank you for your support and for all of your wonderful comments. Thank you for sticking with me even through the tough stuff. Thank you. It's been a good year as far as FlossTube is concerned. It's been a trying year, but it's been a good year. And so with that, I think that I am going to head off. This is going to be quite a video to edit. Ooh. Yeah. lots to input here to finish this video off. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much. See you later. Take care. Bye-bye.